Hi, my name is John Chassie, Safety Director, Matrix Power Services. Welcome to our safety training video, and thank you for being a part of our team. This organization's success is a direct reflection of our employees' work ethic and dedication to getting the job done. A healthy lifestyle and a safe workplace create an added value to our team as a whole. We want all employees to be aware of the risks they face on a daily basis and for you to be able to take steps to manage those potential risks. This training is an opportunity for all of us to commit to a single objective: to make Matrix Power Services the safest company within our industry. Our goal is to prevent injuries by encouraging positive changes in worker behavior. This is accomplished by promoting a culture of continuous improvement and constantly enforcing our policies and procedures. Our real motive is simple. We care about each and every one of you and will do what's necessary to prevent you from being injured. However, keeping our workplace safe takes input from everyone: management, supervisors, foremen, and employees. For example, management provides the safety equipment. Supervisors and foremen ensure that each one of you know how to use that equipment properly. And then it's up to you to follow through and use the equipment as you were trained. There is no greater value than your life. Nothing should be more valuable to you than ensuring that when you leave home for work, you return home safe to your family at the end of the day. I'm asking you to personally join with me in preventing incidents within our workplace. We need your individual contribution to take care of your own safety as well as the safety of your coworkers. I hope I can count on your support during this time of growth and expansion. Please pay attention to the following presentation that outlines Matrix Power Services safety policies. This video will be followed by a short quiz, so if at any point you would like further clarification on a topic, please ask your instructor.
Risk assessment: recognizing hazards. Understanding the presence of workplace risk and knowing how to manage those conditions is critical to working safely. It is a proven fact that a thorough risk assessment can reduce the number of workplace incidents. Your daily and non-routine tasks related to each job activity will be identified by your supervisor in the Job Hazard Analysis, JHA, along with hazards and controls in order to safely complete the task. You are required to read and sign the JHA prior to starting work, acknowledging that you understand the warnings, hazards, and procedures associated with completing the given task. At the end of your shift or when your task is complete, you must sign off on the JHA confirming you've safely completed your task. You must attend the daily safety meeting at the start of your shift given by your supervisor and sign the daily toolbox talk. When you get to your work area, if you recognize hazards not identified in the JHA, you must report it to your supervisor. Personal protective equipment. The following PPE is required gate to gate: black hard hat with bill facing forward, white for supervisors and foremen, safety glasses, hearing protection, long sleeve and long pants, steel-toed boots. Additional PPE may be required to include but not limited to gloves, respirators, burn jacket or sleeves, and the proper face shield for welding, cutting, and grinding. Hard hat with welding attachment only. Emergency evacuation procedures. Matrix employees will follow the host facility's emergency action plan. The evacuation will be directed by the control room. On your first day at the facility, make sure you know where the muster point is located, the different alarm notifications, and who to report to for Matrix head count. This information will be covered in the facility's site-specific orientation. When you get to your work area, make sure you know your surroundings. Know what floor you are on. Look for the nearest plant phone, fire extinguisher, and escape route in case of an emergency. Housekeeping. A clean workspace is required at all times. This includes keeping tools, equipment, and materials organized. Tools are to be kept in your bucket unless in use. Tie off tools when necessary. Make sure trash bags are in place and use them. Pay attention to the PPE disposal requirements, as some facility procedures are different. Take the time to ensure aisles and stairways in your work area are not being obstructed. It is the best practice to eliminate all trip hazards during setup. All leads, extension cords, air lines, and twin lines must be run overhead, off the ground, and not obstructing the pathway. If the cord cannot be run overhead, mark with caution tape and tag as a trip hazard. Do not use welding wire to hang cords and leads. Secure lines with zip ties. Ensure that there is adequate lighting in your workspace. Maintaining housekeeping at all times contributes to keeping your work area safe. Make sure you take the time to set up your work area properly. Lockout tagout. The purpose of lockout tagout is to prevent injury to servicing and or maintenance employees due to the unexpected energization or startup of machines and equipment, or release of stored energy. Your supervisor will inform you of the lockout tagout procedures for each outage. Remember to lock out prior to starting your work and sign in on the lockout tagout sheet. At the end of your shift, do not forget to take your lock and tag off and sign out. You must remember to bring your lock and tag to work with you every shift. Clearly write the following information on your tag: your full name, phone number, and matrix power in permanent marker. Manila tags are not authorized. Confined space entry. A confined space has limited or restricted means of entry or exit and is not designed for continuous occupancy. Confined space include, but not limited to, tanks, silos, boilers, hoppers, pits, manholes, and pipelines. Confined space are classified into three categories: permit required, non-permit required, and an alternate confined space. A permit required confined space has the potential for hazardous atmosphere, engulfment, or entrapment, falling debris, and a lack of ventilation. Non-permit required confined space has the characteristics of a confined space, however, does not contain physical or atmospheric hazards. In an alternate confined space, follow the two-man rule, never work alone, and always use the buddy system. The host facility classifies the confined space, and your supervisor will inform you of the requirements for each area. Do not enter into a permit-required confined space until you have the proper approval from your supervisor, you understand the hazards associated with the confined space, receive proper training, and you communicate with the attendant. Hole watch. Do not enter into a confined space unless there is adequate ventilation and the space has been tested for hazardous atmosphere. If you are an attendant, hole watch, you are responsible for the following: must keep a constant count on every person entering and exiting the confined space, must be able to contact the workers inside the confined space, must be trained to recognize symptoms of exposure, order an evacuation if anything on the inside or the outside of the space looks dangerous for the workers inside. Call the control room for help from trained emergency response team if anyone has to be rescued from that space. Respiratory protection. Respiratory protection must be worn when working inside the boiler, confined space, and any time required by the facility or directed by your supervisor. Your face must be clean shaven in order for the respirator to work properly. Clean your respirator after each use. If the respirator is not in use, it must be in a bag. Alcohol, paper towels, and plastic bags are provided in the job trailers. Do not bring a bottle of cleaning alcohol into the boiler house. An annual fit test will be performed by the safety department to ensure the respirator is properly protecting you. Hand tools. Matrix requires you to inspect your tools before each use. If a guard is missing or equipment is damaged, immediately take that tool to the job trailer and ensure that it is tagged with "Do Not Use." When using a grinder, you are required to use both hands to operate the tool. Must have a guard and handle on at all times. In rare circumstances that requires you to remove the handle, you must receive permission from your supervisor first. No exceptions. Inspect all cords for damage or cuts, and extension cords must have 3 prongs. Ground fault circuit interrupters, GFCIs. A ground fault occurs when there is a break in the low resistance grounding path from a tool or electrical system. The electrical current may then take an alternative path to the ground through the user, resulting in serious injury. The GFCI is a fast-acting circuit breaker designed to shut off electrical power in the event of a ground fault when as little as 1/40th of a second. It protects against the most common form of electrical shock and also protects against fires, overheating, and destruction of wire insulation. Matrix requires a GFCI on all outlets. The proper way to use the GFCI is to plug it into the receptacle, then the electrical product is plugged into the GFCI. Fall protection. Covanta and Wheelabrator facilities require Matrix employees to tie off over 4 feet. Leading edge work exposing an employee within 6 feet to a fall also requires fall protection. You must inspect your fall protection equipment prior to every use. Make sure the harness fits you properly and you're wearing it correctly. The D-ring must be in the center of your back. Do not mix and match fall protection manufacturers, harness, and lanyard. Remember your ABCs. A, anchorage point. B, body harness. And C, connector, your lanyard or retractable. You must tie off overhead and to the proper anchorage point. Wrapping your lanyard around a beam and connecting it to itself is not acceptable. The anchorage point must support 5,000 pounds. Guardrails and mid-rails are not acceptable tie-off points. Fall protection beam clamps and beam straps are best for your anchorage point. If you are unsure where to or how to tie off, ask your supervisor. Danger and caution tape. Danger tape, red. Do not cross for any reason. You are not authorized. Caution tape, yellow. Stop, read tag, assess area and proceed with caution, if it is safe to do so. If you place danger or caution tape, you are responsible for that area. You must ensure the tape completely surrounds the hazard area. The tape is tagged with the provided matrix tag and completely filled out with your name, phone number, date, and the hazard. If you put up tape, you are responsible for removing it when the hazard is no longer present. Rigging procedures. The first thing that must be completed is the rigging checklist form. Your supervisor has this documentation. This form is vital in planning out the entire process from the pick and is required for every lift. All team members involved must sign the rigging checklist and maintain adequate communication throughout the entire process. You are required to inspect all rigging prior to using that equipment. This includes come-alongs, chain falls, trolleys, beam clamps, straps, chokers, and snatch blocks. Ensure that you are checking the chain and hook and mousetrap. Use red tape with a tag to properly mark off the hazardous area. Do not use any defective equipment. If you see a broken cable, missing tag, no mousetrap, etc., red tape and tag the equipment as do not use and bring to the job trailer. China rigging products are not authorized. If you are unsure how to properly rig something, ask your supervisor. Hot work, grinding, welding, cutting. Hot work requires a permit and fire wash. The fire wash must remain in area for 30 minutes after the hot work is complete. Prior to starting any grinding, welding, or cutting, always check the permit for proper date and expiration time. Remove all combustibles from the area. Look above and below. Place fire blanket in areas where needed, over grates, etc. Get a charged fire extinguisher from the trailer. Put up blinds when needed. Always use proper welding or face shield. Again, soft hoods are not authorized. Oxygen acetylene bottles must be separated by a metal barrier and properly secured with chains or wire. Gauges and lines must be checked every shift with soapy water for leaks and cart paperwork completely filled out. If a cart is sitting for more than 24 hours, then the setup needs to be broken down. Gas cylinders not in use must be stored correctly with caps on and in proper designated cages. Scaffolding. Scaffolding must be fully planked with guardrails, mid-rails, and toe boards installed prior to getting onto that platform. Do not climb up the side of the scaffolding. Proper access must be provided. You must locate the scaffolding tag. Do not start working on scaffolding that has not been inspected. Green tags, good to go. Yellow tags require harnesses. Red tags, do not go onto scaffolding for any reason. Do not alter scaffolding for any reason. If scaffolding needs to be modified, inform your supervisor. Ladders must be secured and extend at least 36 inches above platform. Step ladders must be in the open position. Do not stand on the top 2 rungs of a ladder. Do not stand on a bucket. Take the time to get what you need to complete the task safely. Medical Surveillance Program. It is important for our employees to understand the hazards associated with working inside boilers and at the various facilities. Monitoring an employee's exposure level is a significant part of Matrix Medical Surveillance Program. It is mandatory for Matrix employees to attend the scheduled training and medical appointments throughout the year. Hazardous communication. A hard copy of the Matrix Safety Data Sheets, SDS, is located in the job trailers as well as at the shop in Rhode Island. The control room has the host facility's safety data sheets. If at any point you would like to review our hazardous communication program, please contact the safety department. Chemical handling and spill prevention. If required to handle hazardous chemicals, review the job hazard analysis, which will identify the specific controls, procedures, and PPE requirements. Take special care when transporting materials. If a spill is to occur, cleanup kits are in the trailer. Notify supervisor immediately. If it is a large spill, mark spill location with danger tape until area is cleaned up and safe. Accident and incident reporting. You are required to immediately report to your supervisor if an accident or incident is to occur during your shift. All injuries, no matter how minor, must be reported. There is a difference between an accident and an incident. An accident is an unfortunate event that happens unexpectedly and unintentionally, typically resulting in damage or injury. For example, a grinder wheel in your face after you remove the guard and the handle. An incident is an event or occurrence happened because something resulting from something, for example, flash burns. If you are involved in an accident or an incident, you must complete the proper paperwork. Your supervisor has the documentation. Do not leave the facility or seek medical attention without notifying your supervisor. For every facility Matrix works at, the safety department has established communication with the nearest urgent care and emergency room. We will direct you on where to go for the best treatment. Near-miss reports. Although near misses cause no immediate harm, they can precede events in which a loss or injury could occur. The reporting of near misses is an opportunity to gain information and prevent further incidents. Please document all near misses so the information can be distributed and the hazard identified throughout the organization. Substance abuse policy. All Matrix employees are considered to hold a safety-sensitive position within the organization. Matrix has defined safety-sensitive as a position where one's duties involve such great risk of injury to others that even a momentary lapse of attention can have disastrous consequences. The use or possession of controlled substances while holding a Matrix safety-sensitive position is prohibited, except when the use is pursuant to the instructions of a physician who has advised the employee that the substances does not adversely affect the employee's ability to safely perform their daily job task. Additional information. Parking. Park only in designated areas for contractors. Smoking is authorized in facilities designated areas only. Covanta facilities do not authorize tobacco and tobacco-related products anywhere on their facility grounds. Eat and drink only in authorized areas. The boiler house is not an authorized area to eat, drink, or smoke cigarettes. Powered industrial trucks do not operate forklifts, lulls, or elevated platforms, boom, and scissor lifts unless properly trained, certified, and authorized to do so. If you have any questions at any time on the work site or work scope, ask your supervisor before starting or continuing work. Each plant varies with their safety policies and procedures. However, Matrix policies must always be followed.
This organization will continue to strive every outage, every day, and every shift to provide our employees with a safe and healthy work environment.
It is your responsibility to follow the guidelines you've seen today in this video. We expect Matrix Power Services employees to perform to the highest standard. This means operating in a safe manner by adhering to policies and procedures, as well as maintaining a proactive attitude towards safety.
All employees need to be actively engaged in our safety program in order to create a total safety culture. We are a team. You are our greatest asset, and we will continue to implement and enforce procedures designed to protect you. We value dedicated employees. Communication and honesty are key. After all, that is what being a team is all about.
Welcome to the Matrix Power Services team, and we look forward to working with you.